what's up guys? We are back. Another new one coming in here. This is a 05 Sea-Doo GTI RFI. Do a quick walk around here. So this one last year was having issues with the battery voltage was low, and it was having some other issues too when he was riding it that I couldn't diagnose at the time. I didn't know a whole lot about these, but he had told me that he was kind of done with it. He was gonna go grab a new jet ski. So today he messaged me and asked me if I wanted it, and I said, yeah. So we agreed to a price, $1,000, on the fact that it's gonna need new crank seals, because the engine will fill with oil. I think from the counterbalance shaft is the common issue with these. The inner crankshaft seals wear down and the engine fills with oil. At least that's my assumption. I'm not certain. So I was looking at a rebuild crank, and it's about $325 with a core. We do have a core in there, obviously, but I do want to test the actual inner crank seal. So how I think it works is this oil line and this oil line both flow through the inner crankshaft, or the counterbalance, or I don't think it's a counterbalance, I think it's the rotary valve shaft. So generally what you would do is drain the oil from the counterbalance, or no, rotary valve shaft, and then you put like 3 psi in it and you let it sit for a while, and it shouldn't drop pressure. And if it does drop pressure, you know that your inner crankshaft seals are worn out, that the oil that's running through the rotary shaft is running into the engine. So that's what we're gonna do pretty soon here. Maybe today we'll get at it, but this will be the new project. I'm going to check all that, and then obviously if it checks out bad, which is probably what's going on, then we'll order a complete gasket kit for it, and we'll check the pistons out, make sure those are all good. If I remember right, this ski doesn't have very many hours on it. I don't have a battery hooked up, and I gotta get the key yet again. Or no, it does have a battery hooked up, but I don't have the key yet. So yeah, that's what we got here. New project to the channel. There's not a whole lot of videos on the RFI out there, so maybe I'll do a whole series on it. But yeah, let me know what you think, and hope you guys are able to get out on your jet skis today or tomorrow. It's a nice day here. So one other thing I wanted to show you guys that I thought was kind of cool, kind of neato, is, look at it, it's got fins that turn with the jet pump so you can steer without having pressure going through. But yeah, this jet ski is really clean, not a whole lot of hours, freshwater ski. I see a couple little tiny scratches. It's a little dirty, but that'll clean up. This ran last year, I think probably this year too. Maybe a nice buff on it. Underside of the hull has some rash. That's about normal for what I'm used to seeing. Nice looking ski, big 3-seater. Check out down here, jet pump unit. I haven't even looked in at the jet pump really. I can't really see much. Yeah, nice ski. Alright guys, I'm working on this Sea-Doo GTI LE-RFI. It's a long title. So I got my little Harbor Freight pressure and vacuum tester. I put some vacuum in. And it steadily falls. I don't know how well you can see that, but it eventually goes down to 0. Now I know my pinch off point down there and my connections up here could always be the culprit, but judging from what Corey told me, he said it was filling up with oil, and look at that plug. It's pretty oily. Also pretty oily. I don't know if this is going to zoom in, but if you look right on the plug itself, there's like oil just right on it. So it's got to be those inner crank seals, but we're gonna turn it over and see if we get a bunch of oil coming out once I put this back together, because I don't want to run that without oil. Okay, I'm gonna try and set you up so you can see what's going on. Can you see down there? Let's see if anything happens when I do this, or if I need a key. Well, I would think if it was really low on, or really full of oil in the engine case, that it would shoot out, right? This thing got real hot. Just used an amp cable to turn it over, and holy smokes, did it get hot. I didn't see any oil shooting out. I don't know if you did, but I mean, really, this engine is super clean. Okay, so I threw it on the charger. I made a little connector for the start switch. Just basically so I don't have to jump those with a lot of amps. I can just plug this guy in. And this was just with spare parts I had laying around. It doesn't matter which way I go on this. I don't know if you can see. It doesn't matter which way I go with this, whether black is black or red is red. Doesn't matter. It's just a coil. So I'm gonna put that there. Ready, set. Now, I didn't see a whole lot of oil coming out of there. I don't know if you can see anything in there, but I do see residual oil around here. I know it is a 2-stroke, so it's supposed to get oil. I don't know. I think I want to repeat the leak test in a better fashion. She's mad. Repeat the leak test in a better fashion, and you know, see if I get the same results of a leak in the inner crank seals, or the inner crank seals, or is it a rotary valve shaft area? I don't know. Either way, that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so I've had this on for about 25 minutes. I don't think it's dropped any. Maybe a half a PSI or less than that. So I really don't think the inner crank seals are bad. As far as oil in the engine, I talked to the guy again. And he said that about once a year he'd have to blow out the oil out of it. But you know, that I'm not sure if that's once a year with 3 hours or once a year with 50 hours, right? I have no idea how many hours this has or how much he actually rides it. But really, if it's once a year with like 10-15 hours and the plugs foul out like this, that's not terrible, right? Obviously it's not exactly right, but we could probably adjust the oil injection some way. I don't know how to do that right now, but I could find out. We could probably adjust the oil injection, lean it out a little bit. But really, I'd rather it's safer and change the plugs than change the pistons. So yeah, I didn't feel right with like just buying it for $1,000 because of, you know, what this is worth, right? This is like a $3,000 to $5,000 ski depending on hours, and you know, I just didn't feel right like doing that. So I told him everything that I did, and that I really don't believe that it's you know, the inner crank seals are bad at this point. You know, I'm gonna leave that pressure tester on there for a while and really see how it goes. But for 20 minutes at 5 psi, those are good. Those are fine. Yeah. So basically, I looked it over. I kind of told him, you know, if he's still all right with $1,000 after everything I told him, then I'm cool with it. But otherwise, I'd you know, if that's all that it is, I'll put it back together and I'll post it up for sale. But yeah, I wanted to give him the opportunity, you know, because that's a lot of money, right? That's, you know, the difference between $1,000 and $3,000 or $1,000 and $5,000 is a lot of money and can really like help somebody, or you know, that type of thing. I would classify that as basically life-changing amount of money, you know, for some people. So I really, you know, am wondering what he's gonna say. Yeah, so I'll either be giving this back to him minus my hours, or hour or whatever, or you know, so that way he could, you know, maybe get the amount that he probably deserves for it. Or if he says just he wants it gone, you know, I'll probably just put it back together, test ride it, and make sure everything's good, and then probably sell it at a discounted rate. You know, I'm not trying to get rich doing this. I do it because I like it. I do it because it's fun. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll let you know what happens with this.